All right, team. So thank you so much for everybody being with us this morning. It's going to be an awesome Friday, and we've got an amazing guest to wrap up our week with. We've got Toni Zarghami from Zarghami Group, and they're with Keller Williams Classic Siesta Key, just to the south of us. So thank you so much for being on our call today, Toni. I know we've been trying to get you on here for a couple weeks, and we finally got it worked out. So we're really happy to have you with us.
I apologize for rescheduling last week. So
oh no, you had a good reason.
Thanks.
So I know you've been doing a lot of these calls. You did one with Donnie yesterday. I think you did another one with Georgia, or you're doing another one with Georgia coming up.
Yeah, I've been doing a lot of team meetings with different market centers across the country, which has been really fun too.
So let's start out with this. I know I had some stuff I wanted to talk to you about and ask you, and I'm sure there's lots of questions from the group as well. But what are the things that you've been, in all these Zoom calls and meetings that you've been taking part in, what are some of the things you've been sharing that you feel have been really impactful for people, or that agents seem to have really gotten a lot of value from?
Yeah, we've actually, and I'm so sorry, my lawnmower just showed up. Can you hear me okay?
Yeah, you're good.
You know, one of the things I've been talking a lot about is the virtual open houses that I've been doing. And for those of you that know me, I'm not super high tech. I don't, I'm not like, I don't know how to edit and do all of those things. So one day I was on doing another one of these calls. I was just listening though. I was a participant, and someone mentioned doing a virtual open house. And I said, well, I don't understand that. Like, how do you do that? And so I just figured out with Zoom, because we have a Zoom account as well, I just figured out how to go and do it really simply. It takes me about 7 minutes to do them. And it's just become a really big thing. And I've just been talking to a lot of people about just going out and doing it. Like, don't overthink it, don't overplan it, make mistakes, go through and just get it done. And then really just continuing to talk to people and staying in touch with your office. I know we all feel somewhat isolated, so making sure that you're on calls like these every day, essential. So that's been a lot of my focus.
So can you tell me take us through your process for what your virtual open house looks like? Because I've seen yours and they're awesome, and I've seen other versions of it too. And I think agents are, trying to figure out what's my best way of doing that, or how do I connect with people at the highest level. So what's that look like for you?
You know what the best way to do it is? Just do it, right? Because there's not one right or wrong way. It's kind of like what database is best, whichever one you'll use, right? No, Command's the best one now. But yeah, I do it, and I actually have, Karen, I can email it to you, and you can share it with everybody. I've got a step-by-step, if you want to do it through Zoom, the way I do it, just a step-by-step instructions with pictures and everything. If that's helpful, I'll email that over to you. You can send it out.
Yeah, I'm sure the agents would love that. That'd be awesome.
Yeah, but all I do literally, guys, is I go onto Zoom, just like this, and I click record, just like Kieran did. And then I just turn the camera around, so then you can see my screen, and I literally walk through. Oh, look, you showed up. Hi, everybody. Every time.
Hi.
Can you go tell Daddy I need something? My husband's on crutches and can't run after her. I'm so sorry.
That's okay.
We've also got 2 entrances to my office, so they slide in everywhere.
Working from home is awesome.
I know, right? And so what I do is I just click on record, and I'll share my screen, and I'll be in the MLS. And I just did one yesterday. I haven't posted it yet, but I'll either scroll through the pictures or I'll go in my Matterport and share it that way. So it's very low tech, but I think what people have liked about it is I make mistakes in it and all of that, and it really is okay. It makes it really kind of real and vulnerable. So that's what's worked out for me.
Okay, great. And what sort of things are you and your team doing with, obviously, we're a little challenged in our business and in finding ways to connect with people, find new business, service the business we have, and then also just kind of be a resource for our clients and the people, that we care about in our businesses. So what are you guys focused on around kind of that whole side of it?
Yeah, it's really taken us, the last time we did the Bold 2.0, it really pivoted to talking to your database, which I hate to admit this, but that was kind of new for us. We did client events and all of that, and yet I don't know that we were taking care of our database the way we should have, because we're always chasing new business, right? But what this is, and even Bold 2.0 changed the way I thought about it, but I didn't necessarily do anything differently. But what this has really changed for us is we are talking to our database like crazy. And we say 3 things, which is the truth, right? I've been thinking about you. How are you doing? What can I do for you, right? And so that has just spurred conversations. I don't even mention real estate. And Karen, I would say like 90% of the time, it goes back to a real estate conversation. They're like, oh my gosh, Toni, thanks for checking on us. We're great. What's going on in the real estate market, right? And then you wind up having a real estate conversation anyway. So those have just been our really 3 simple statements, and it's worked out really well.
We've been hearing that a lot from the agents we've had on these calls, is if you just come from a position of care and curiosity and and contribution that the people out there are really they're curious about what's going on in your world, and they're concerned about what's happening in your business, and they want to know, and they actually bring that up. So that's been kind of a consistent message.
Yeah, and we're very blessed. We've got a pretty large database, but for anyone that's on the call that's thinking, well, that sounds great, Toni, but you've got this big database of people to call through. We also are really focusing on our vendors, guys, because we're all small business owners, right? So we are going through any vendor that we've ever known, worked with, said hello to, any of our friends that own small businesses, and having that same conversation. And my conversation with them, in the midst of all of this, my husband having surgery, our air conditioning also broke, right? So our air conditioning guy has been wonderful. He was here yesterday putting in a whole brand new system. And so my conversation with him and all our vendors is, look, like, we're all small business owners. At the end of this, my goal is to send you even more business than I already do. And they're like, oh my gosh, that's amazing. My goal is going to be to send you even more business than I already do. So connecting with any type of vendor, guys, is amazing. Even if you don't know them, do the white pages exercise from Bold and just start calling people their own businesses. And how can I support you? How can you support me? And that's been really amazing to reconnect with them as well.
That's awesome. I love that. And this is I think this is our 26th, 7th of these calls in a row. And that's the first time that's come up. So I love doing this every day because we always get something new out of it. So obviously you're really focused on the relationships that you've already established over the years, whether it's with vendors or people in your database. And I know that that's going to result in them coming back to you and pouring into you and your team. Are you guys doing anything around your normal lead generation, even though it's probably not normal right now? What have you shifted and pivoted in that area?
Yeah, we've been connecting, guys, more and more with people on Facebook, which has been amazing. We're doing a ton of Facebook chatting and things like that because I don't do my open houses live. I haven't quite mastered doing that yet, so I just post it, right? And you'll get thousands of views. And you think about, like, if you do an open house on a Sunday, you spend a half hour, 45 minutes setting up signs, and then you sit there for 3 hours and hope like 12 people come in is like a successful open house, right? But these, when you're getting hundreds or thousands of views on these, we count those as people that have like looked at your seller's property. And so we are connecting anybody that, because a lot of people will, people comment and write someone's name in there. I have no idea who that person is, but I'll go and friend them. And then I Facebook message them and say, hey, Karen, I know we don't know each other, but I noticed you watched my open house for the property over in Holmes Beach. Do you live in the area? So guys, that's so crazy, but it has spurred so many conversations of just people sharing whatever you're posting on social media, real estate related, people sharing that. Go friend everyone that likes it or comments that you're not friends with and start a conversation with them. That's been a huge return for us.
No, that's awesome. Like even with these calls, we get, 50, 60 people a day on these calls, and then I post them to YouTube later and we get another couple hundred views. So yeah, you're absolutely right. An open house, the way we've been doing it, was a one and done type situation. Yeah. And now this sort of stuff kind of gets to live on and continue to generate eyeballs. So that's
guys, great. What I would do too, if you're doing any type of virtual open house, get your seller on board. One of my sellers, they have a Facebook group for their neighborhood. So one of the sellers shared it in the neighborhood Facebook page, and we got 2 listing leads from it. So that's a great way to go about getting some listing leads during this time too.
Okay, awesome. And so what else are you guys doing around lead generation? So you're doing the social media thing, and I know you do that at a really high level. I see your stuff all the time. It's awesome. Are you doing anything? Are you refocusing on things like FSBOs or expireds, or are you doing anything like that?
Yeah, so full transparency, stopped for a little while. I think we were all kind of in panic mode, and we had to cancel, and what is happening in our business? Are we going to die? Like, I think we stopped for a little bit. I'll be honest with you. Okay. Just picked it back up. And we really had a conversation about what do we say to these FSBOs? It's not, hey, are you looking to buy or sell, or where are you going? Right. Like, the normal script doesn't work anymore. So guess what our script is for FSBOs? Karen, it's Toni with Keller Williams Realty. I believe we spoke about your property we had for sale, but that's not even if we had a problem, that's not the reason for this call. I just wanted to check in with everything going on. Are you doing okay? Is there something I can do for you? And they're like, oh, okay. Well, I'm doing okay. Toni, thanks for calling. I'm sorry, I don't remember talking to you. And I'm like, that's because we might not have talked. But hey, how's the real estate market? Are you guys seeing houses sell? And then we go into the statistics we pull every Friday. So we've totally changed how we talk to FSBOs, and that's been great. Now, again, transparency, we've not taken any new FSBO listings, but I think we're getting some nurtures from it that we're continuing to talk through. Hey, Andy, you just popped up on my screen. Hey, you. Hey, buddy. That blue shirt brings out the blue in your eyes. I like it. So that's how we've refocused our FSBO efforts. We've not jumped back into expired yet, but I'm thinking it would be the same conversation when we do.
Right. Okay, awesome. So last question I have, and I wanted to leave plenty of time for questions from the group because I know we had a lot of people excited about having you on here. What are you doing what are you and your team doing to kind of just take care of yourselves? Because this is a really, stressful situation. And we've been talking a lot about, yes, pouring into your business, making sure your business is strong, but we need to be strong too. So what are you guys doing as a team to take care of the team, take care of yourselves every day?
Yeah, that's a really great question. And up until Monday, I really was not doing a great job of that because we have a business to run. And I have a 9-year-old that I'm now homeschooling, who's adorable and doesn't love homeschooling. And I have a 3-year-old who has more energy than I know what to do with. And she needs and deserves, like you just saw, she busts, she doesn't care that you're on a phone call. Like she just busts in and does whatever she wants to, right? And she needs and deserves all that attention. And we were social distancing from everyone. So I have normally in my life a ton of help. My mom lives here, my aunts are all here. Like we normally have a ton of leverage and we just didn't because no one was seeing each other. So I had a full on breakdown on Monday. I really did. I'm like, I can't handle. David's on crutches. Like I'm doing everything physically, like dishes, everything. And so what happened is I realized I wasn't doing any of that. So I have decided, and this might sound small, but every day I'm taking 30 minutes, and David, you're on crutches, but you can hobble after the 3-year-old. You'll be fine. Like 30 minutes to do whatever I want to. I can read a book. I can go for a walk. I've been jumping on my Peloton, like anything like that. So I know 30 minutes in a 24-hour period might not sound like a lot, but for someone like me that's got I feel like a ton going on, that has made all the difference in the world. And we also, with our team, and guys, if you don't have a team, it's important, like I said, that you're doing things like this so you feel connected. My team talks every morning from 9 to 9:30. And every Friday we do a happy hour at 4:30, just our team. And we've been playing board games together, and we all shared our baby pictures last week. So anything you can do to just stay connected and like talking to actual people has been super helpful. Is that what you mean?
Yeah, because I think that, like you said, that is important because I think with everything everyone's dealing with every day, we forget about that piece of it, and then you can have a meltdown or burnout or whatever it might be.
Yeah, I've done too. That sounds silly, but I like writing cards. So I've actually been writing handwritten cards to people. I write 5 a day, and I pop them in the mail. And I don't know why, that just feels like therapeutic to me. It's been some past clients that I've really related with or have a friendship with now. I sent one to my mom, even though she like lives down the street. So writing sounds silly, but like writing handwritten cards has been really like calming for me too. So anything, like if you guys have an adult coloring book or you're a knitter or a sewer or like anything that just lets you sit for a minute has been great.
Awesome. Yeah, let you get out of your own head for a minute.
Just a minute.
So yeah, I did want to open up because I know we had a lot of people that had questions. So I did want to leave plenty of time for that. So guys, please unmute yourselves if you want to jump in and ask the amazing Toni Z a question about what her and her team are doing.
Hey Toni, it's Laura Rohde. How are you?
Hi Laura, I am good. I was so excited to see your girls' happy hour you guys did. That looked amazing. Things like that are what we all need to be doing.
Yeah, it was definitely fun. I have a question for you about the Facebook friending. Now, are you Facebook friending these people on your personal Facebook, or are you, oh, you are. Okay, so you don't have like a separate Facebook that you created to friend them. You're just friending them through your personal Facebook.
Yeah, I'm straight on just Toni. Maybe I should do it through our business one, but I don't because I'm posting these both on our business Facebook page and my personal just gets so many more watches and likes. So I'm doing it just on my personal page.
Yeah, because you can't add friends through a business page. So I haven't been adding everybody to my personal page, but I will add people I will invite them to follow us, but I just wanted to make sure. So you're actually adding them to your personal page.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
All of a sudden your Facebook feed goes up with these random people. Is that a little scary? Yeah. Like all these random people start showing up on my Facebook feed. I'm like, oh, that's who it is. I know I have at least one friend in common with them though, because like you will have posted and wrote someone else's name in there. So I trust you to want to tag that person in my Facebook post. So that's at least my mindset for right now.
Okay. Got it.
Toni.
Hi,
Hey there. I'm going to stay way away from the adult coloring book. That's, maybe we can talk on that later. But a little levity here, right? Get some smiles on the screen. What is you have a MAPS coach, correct?
We actually do. We have 2 coaches. They're not MAPS coaches right now.
Okay, well that's all good.
We do have coaches. Yes.
What is your coach telling you? Or what's resonating with you with your coaching appointments that you're having to help keep you aligned with your business?
Yeah, so our coach, he's kind of amazing. He's a no nonsense, like he's exactly what we needed in our business. We started working with him last year and he's just like, Toni, stop crying, get over yourself. You need to cut this expense and you need to do this and you need to do this lead gen and we've got to increase this spend. So the reason I love him so much, especially right now, is he is just no nonsense. Here's what you need to be doing in your business. And you guys know as business owners, like there's not a boss like telling us what to do per se. Like we've just got to figure this all out. So to have someone, our coach that's been doing this for so long, just be like, this is what you need to do, especially during this time when I feel like we've got so many other things to be figuring out. That's been really helpful from our coach. We've just gotten really direct conversations about what we need to do in our business. And that's been super helpful from him. He told me to stop crying about David's broken foot. I'm like, all right.
Control what you can control, right?
Exactly, yeah. Andy, that's a great question. Was that helpful?
And then Kim Paxton, I know you had a question. We were talking earlier.
Morning, Toni.
Oh, you got your Peloton hat on. Hey, girl.
Yep. Hey, I was on your tech talk yesterday.
Oh, how was it?
It was great. Answered all my questions. It was just, you really simplified the process for the virtual open houses. And it was just a matter of clicking that record button. And I was like the light bulb went off. I'm like, okay, there you go. There it is. So download, share the little thing.
Yeah, because here's the thing about the virtual open houses. Like you'll see if you watch any of mine, there are mistakes in all of them. Avery's in half of them because I could record them 17 times and get it perfect. But I think right now, I don't think people are looking for perfection. They're just looking for you to be real and to watch. Are we not on social media more now than we've ever been? Like they're just looking for great things to see and to watch and things like that. So I would not stress about getting ready to get ready. Just go do it. Just click record and then post it. And you'll get feedback on it for sure. So thank you, Kim.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Daughter.
I'm sorry?
Congratulations to your daughter as well.
Stephanie Paxton, yes, and thank you all for your support. You've all been really wonderful to her, and as a mom, it really means a lot to me. So thank you for that. Thanks, guys.
Hey, Toni.
Thanks, Toni.
You're welcome.
Hey, Toni. Tim Corcoran. How are you?
Hi, Tim. I'm good, buddy. How are you?
Good, good. So have you tried doing the viewing party after you do your?
No, I was on command last week. You were on that call too, and
Yep.
she mentioned she was doing that, and I have not yet, and I think it's genius. I just have not. Has anyone done that? I think.
Yeah, I did it. I actually did it last week, and I got 5 people who were interacting with me, and because you're live up in the right-hand corner as it's going through, so you can talk to people as you're going like that. And
is it like they chat with you and you're like typing?
Yeah, they'll chat and you'll answer them and stuff like that. So
I need to do that. Thank you for reminding me.
I've actually got my personal paid friends. I can only allow 50 more people in. So I've been doing what you've been doing, letting people in, and when I see stuff, they post stuff I don't like, I just get rid of them and let somebody else in. So
yeah, and save that spot. That's a really good idea. I need to do that. Thank you.
That class you did with them was really good, and really appreciate that.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
So we do have a question in the chat. Carolyn Spronley asked, and she's in the same situation you are, right? She's at home, she's got the kids, she's trying to do all that. So maybe she can't be on camera because she's got kids climbing all over or something. But she asked, what does your daily schedule look like? How are you handling that?
Yeah, Carolyn, I don't know if your husband is at home or not, but we literally posted, it's like this big, it's like this big. And it's just hanging on our wall, and it's 4 columns, and it says David, Toni, Luca, Avery, and it's in half-an-hour increments. And so we just know that at some point, if David and I are both working, they're watching TV. That's just straight up the truth, right? We have to survive right now. And then we just stagger. So if David's working from 10 to 11, I'm in charge of both of the kiddos, and that's Luca probably doing some schoolwork, and Avery's playing. And then from 11 to 12, David's in charge of the kiddos. So we just have blocked it out. So either they're watching TV for half an hour because we both have a call, like at 9 o'clock, we both have calls. They both are watching a show from 9 to 9:30. Or one of us is in charge of them. Girl, it has been like survival mode. And I feel like I'm probably working, honestly, probably about 30% of the time that I normally work when I'm at the office. And I just have had to make peace with that, leverage some things out to other people, and just know that eventually we'll get back into this, right? And I've also found that because I'm probably working about 30% of the actual like hours that I normally do, I'm still getting a ton done because I'm like uninterrupted. I know I've only got an hour to get 7 things done and have 10 real estate conversations. You like plow through stuff. So that's what we've been doing that's working. Also, the kids go to bed at some point, and I usually am catching up at like 9 o'clock on my computer.
Thank you, Toni. I appreciate that.
It's tough, right? I get it. I get it.
Yeah, every day it changes. You know, we're just figuring it out. But I agree, you know, having less time is putting more focus. It really is. It really is. I'm doing more than I feel like I'm doing.
And I think you're probably doing more than you're giving yourself credit for. So I would give yourself credit that you're an amazing mom and you're an amazing businesswoman, and you're doing more and accomplishing more than you probably are giving yourself. I think all of you are giving yourself credit for sure.
Awesome. So guys, let's keep the conversation going. I've got some more questions I can ask, but I'd rather you guys jump in because, well, we've got Toni here and she's happy to answer you guys' questions. So jump in, please.
I have a question, Toni.
Hey, Maria.
Yeah.
Hi. Hi. What are the best days to host the visual open houses?
I have no earthly idea.
No.
Today
And tomorrow and the next
10
day.
o'clock, Maria, I expect one on your Facebook page. I try to do, I shouldn't say try. I try. I try to do 3 a week. I try to get at least 3 a week posted. And it's literally whenever I know that I have like a quiet 10 minutes that hopefully someone won't bust through this door. So I don't know the answer to that, but I know my goal is to get 3 of them out a week. And my goal is to keep them 4 minutes or shorter. And I don't know why, that's just what's worked for me. Yeah, is to make them about 4 minutes or shorter.
Okay, and any particular time of the day?
Yeah, no, like I did one actually yesterday and then I haven't posted it. So I'm going to post it probably about 10 o'clock this morning. I don't know if I'm making this up, but I find if you like post it kind of early-ish in the morning, people are on Facebook, like they've worked for an hour or two. So like, I'm gonna take a Facebook break in my yoga pants over here. Or like later in the afternoon or evening, because everyone at the end of the day, like sits down and grabs their phone, right? And so I've tried to do it either in the morning or like mid to late afternoon. And I don't know if that's right or not, but it seems to work.
Okay, great, thanks.
What's the mix of engagement? I know we touched on it, but what's the mix of engagement you're getting versus when you're doing these, when you're doing them live, you're having people jump on the live stream and maybe comment or look at it or whatever. And then after the fact, after it's up on your page and you're getting that, you know, post live engagement, have you been getting a lot more engagement once it's up and people can view it at their leisure or when it's live streaming?
I've actually never done it live because I think—
Oh, that's right, you're recording it.
I can't figure out how to do a screen share on Facebook Live. I am sure there's a way to do it. But the reason I do mine and record them on Zoom is so that I can show my screen, show my the MLS and pull up the Matterport or the pictures or the map or whatever. So I've not actually done it live yet. I know when I do anything live, I probably get 10 or 15 people watching, and then it gets hundreds of views at some point.
Okay, so so that post, that engagement, once it's up and it's been up, you're finding that that's been very
a couple of them have had
rewarding
thousands
and
of views. Yeah,
wow, that's awesome.
Yeah.
And you're not boosting them or doing anything like that. You're just putting them out there and seeing what happens.
Throwing them out there and sharing. And
That's
guys,
great.
if you're doing that as an office, like Maria, if you do one, guys, share it. Everybody share it's just getting the word out there. I was on a call with some state, I forget. Maine, Portland, Maine. I was in their board of realtors call and they're like, wait a second, you share your other agents? And what if someone doesn't have a listing? I'm like, then people are doing my listings. Other people in my office have been doing virtual open houses of my listings. And they were shocked by that. They're like, but what if they get a lead from it? I'm like, then good for them. Like, that's amazing. Why?
Yeah.
I didn't think it wasn't all KW. I don't think they were very abundant mindset. They're like, you're doing what? You're sharing other people's?
But that's no different than what we would have been doing, you know, a month ago if you had someone in your office do an open house for you.
Yeah, so share
Another
it.
realtor show your property. Yeah.
Absolutely.
And Charles, I see you unmuted yourself. Do you have a question?
I do. Hi, Toni. Thank you so much for doing this.
Of course.
My question is this, that I've had a lot of stuff going on personally, moving and so on, and I'm ready to start making calls. So do you think, and I'm going to start circle prospecting starting Monday, do you think it's a little bit insensitive, or maybe do you have a special script like, you know, I know you're busy and I know you have a lot of things going on in your life, but I just want you to know that we just sold your neighbor's homes and we got top dollar. Do you think that it's insensitive? Have your team been doing that?
You know, we've not been circle prospecting, but the reason I don't think it's insensitive is because think about like all the vendors we all use. Like David and I have homeowners insurance and we have life insurance and we have our car salesman and we've got like all these people that have sold us things. We've got our financial advisor. Out of everybody that provides a service like we do, we've had one of them call us. it's been our financial advisor. And he said, Toni, and he talked to David, you know, I just want to, are you guys doing okay? I'm thinking about you. Also, I don't know what he said, but like this, I've had other clients have success with this stock. Do you want to talk about it? And so I was like, thank you for calling, because you are the only vendor that has called me, right? Out of everybody that we do business with. So I took it as, because I was kind of feeling, Charles, a little bit like you were like, is this a weird time to be calling people? But I was so glad that he called. And so even when you're circle prospecting, I would think if you start with those 3 questions, like, you know, I'm a realtor. I actually work a lot in your neighborhood. I sell a ton in Palmyra, and I was just checking in on the neighbors. Are you doing okay? Is there anything I can do for you? Also, I don't know if you noticed, but the house down the street, we just sold that and got top dollar. And even in these crazy times, do you have any real estate? So that's how I would go about it. And I think people will appreciate it.
Great, thank you. And another question, when you're doing your virtual open houses, Facebook haven't done it. Do you use command, or do you just, you know,
yeah, no, I just go into the MLS. Yeah, if you guys go to zarghamigroup.com, under the buyers tab, there's one of the drop downs is virtual open houses. We've been putting them on Facebook, and then they all live on our website as well. So you can check them all out. But no, I'm just doing them literally through Zoom in the MLS. I'm sure there's a super fancy way to do it in command that I have not figured out yet.
Great. Thank you.
You're welcome.
And another thing I would just piggyback on that, Charles and everyone else, is know the stats right now in the marketplace. Like Toni talked about how she shares the stats, and I know, you know, her and David are all over knowing the market. They have an awesome quarterly report they do. I mean, they've got a lot of great stuff to do around that.
When I saw like Maria, if you're still on, like you posted, I think it was like a 7 days or a 24 hours. Like guys, those things are so, I know a lot of us are doing them, but those are so helpful because it gives you something to talk about, right? It's not you need to buy or sell real estate. Like people are interested in what's going on in real estate right now. How has this affected the market? And when you've got those numbers, don't you sound like the expert? So I saw yours, Maria. It looked great.
Yeah, and Greg actually shared something with us yesterday where, you know, new listings coming on the market were down about 4% versus last month, but solds were up 37%. And, you know, so the new listings coming on the market were down at a higher rate than all the other components of the business, which means the tight inventory we already had is getting even tighter. So it's super important that you know that stuff, because now you can be that advisor, like Toni was just saying, to the people that do want to sell their house. Maybe they think that it's not the right time because they don't understand the market. Well, actually, it is the right time. If you still need to sell, now's the time to do it, because there's less and less and less coming in the market, which means there's less and less available for the buyers that are out there.
I've said a million times over the last couple of weeks, guys, there are still, I say this to my client, whoever I'm talking to, there are still really serious buyers in the market, and there are still really serious sellers in the market. And I don't have the number pulled up. I normally do, but like last week, there were 400 and something contracts written just in our market. So Mr. Seller, it's a great time. And the cool thing is, Keller Williams has the technology that you don't ever have to leave your house. We can do everything electronically. We can do virtual open house. So we're talking about all these things, these innovative things we're doing differently.
Yeah. Awesome. So guys, Toni has a call at 9 o'clock. I'm very respectful of that. So I have time for one more question if you want to jump in. Otherwise, we will cut her loose and let her get about her day. So last chance.
Oh, thanks, Sarah.
No takers? All right. So Toni, thank you so much for being with us this morning. I've been looking forward to this conversation for a couple of weeks now. So great job to you. Thank you for everything you're doing for the region and everything else. So we'll post this recording later if you want to share it with your team, and we'll talk to you soon. Have a great day.
I miss you guys. Be well out there.
All right.
Hi, Toni.
You're welcome. See you later.
Thank you, Toni.
Bye.
Thank you, Toni.
Bye, everybody.